Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video, I'm going to show you the technique that I use to create the most insanely tender, fallen off the bone, baby back ribs. Within the barbecue community, there is a technique for cooking ribs called the 3-2-1 method. And the reason for this is because you cook the ribs in 3 different phases. The first is 3 hours, the second is 2 hours, the third is 1 hour. Now I've seen some recipes that overcomplicate this technique just a little bit by varying the temperature. We're not going to do that. I have found that 225 degrees Fahrenheit for all 3 phases works perfectly for me and yields spectacularly tender ribs. This recipe utilizes 2 of my other recipes, my Keto Barbecue Rub and my Keto Barbecue Sauce. And I will include links to both of those, both down in the description below and at the end card to this video. But now, let's make some ribs. I have here 2 racks of baby back ribs from Sam's Club. And the first thing I always do is I check the underside for a membrane. Sometimes the butcher will remove this, sometimes not. Generally, it's pretty obvious when it's there because it's kind of thick and plasticky. I don't think it's on this one, but if it were, very often people will use a spoon or knife to get underneath it and then peel it back. I use a pair of catfish skinning pliers, which works wonderfully. You just grab the edge and you can pretty much peel the entire membrane right off. But I do not think there is one on this. No, I don't think so. So we're going to apply our Keto Barbecue Rub, which I will include the link to down in the description. Before I do that though, I coat it with a little bit of yellow mustard. This helps to ensure that the rub sticks to the ribs quite nicely. Squirt a little of this on there. Squirt, 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 squirt. And then you can either rub this in with your hands or you can use a basting brush, which is what I'm going to do so I don't get my fingernails and cuticles all yellow. Paint this on nice and smoothly. And then I'll add the barbecue rub. I'm guesstimating that I probably put about 2 tablespoons on the top. Use however much you need to get the tops of your ribs covered. And then you can pat that down or rub it. Then I repeat the process on the underside, again with the mustard. Probably only about a tablespoon of rub on the underside. Then I'll flip these over, give them a little pat on the countertop to get off any excess rub. And then to get these to fit on the racks for my smoker, I'm going to slice these into half racks. Now you'll notice then that I've got kind of a bare piece of meat here. What I'm going to do is dab that down onto my plastic wrap, which collected all of my extra rub. Looking good. And then I'm going to transfer my racks of ribs to my smoker rack. I do this inside because I feel it's easier to transfer the racks inside and then carry the meat outside than vice versa. Now the great thing about using this plastic wrap is cleanup is a breeze. Simple as that. I put an aluminum pan on the bottom rack of my smoker to catch any drippings. It just makes smoker cleanup easier. And then into the smoker with my 4 half racks of ribs. I've got it set to 225 degrees Fahrenheit, and I am using cherry wood for my wood chips. You could also use hickory. I find both those work pretty well for pork ribs. Load up the smoker and let these go for 3 hours. After 3 hours, oh, I love this moment. Ribs already looking fantastic. We're going to take these indoors and prep for the second phase of the cook, which is the steaming phase. So I'm going to transfer each of these half racks onto a sheet of aluminum foil. I'm going to fold up the edges of the aluminum foil so that it can hold my steaming liquid and not spill on the counter. And for that I'm using some Zevia black cherry. You could use any sort of keto type cola you want, Dr. Pepper, chicken broth, but we want some sort of liquid that is going to help steam the ribs. Then I'm going to tighten this up into a nice little packet here and put all 4 of them back into the smoker for phase 2, which lasts 2 hours. After 2 hours, I'm unwrapping these little packets of joy and just check out how tender this meat is. I could stick my finger right through this if I felt so inclined. But instead, I'm going to sauce them up and get them ready for phase 3. This is my Keto Barbecue sauce. Again, I will include a link to this down in the description below. I'm going to paint this on to my ribs, making sure I get the tops fully covered, get the sides and edges, and then transfer these back to my smoker rack. These are just so gorgeous already. I can't wait. Just 1 more hour. So into the smoker they go for the final hour. And the big reveal. If you're hearing angels sing right now, I'm not surprised. I will transfer these onto a baking sheet for easy transport indoors. Oh, smells so good. And then I'll begin portioning these up for the family. And I think there we have our video thumbnail.
It was really good, really moist, cooked perfectly, great meat.
Look at that pull part.
Wow. Tender. Wow. Very good, dear.
Very good. All right, just watch this.
Should I get close up?
Like the
Yeah.
bone just pulls right out of this. So not competition ribs. Oh, it is just insanely tender. Wow. Those are probably the most tender ribs I've ever made.
Yeah.
I will include the recipe for these ribs down in the description below. I will not, however, be including the macros because those are going to vary depending on how much rub you like or how much sauce you like or how big your racks of ribs are. I do, however, have the macros listed for the recipes for the rub and for the sauce, so it should be easy enough for you to calculate what your macros are for whatever serving size you decide. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please click that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, tap that subscribe button, then hit the bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you really, really, really love this video, tap that thanks button. Buy me some more wood chips. And thanks for watching.